Good morning. What day is it? Hump day! Mike. So happy Wednesday. We're started off in February. Away we go. So, are you organizing your week? Are you organizing your days and are you organizing your week? You now have your goals, your outcomes for the rest of your life. So, you got at least a plan or an idea for the rest of your life. So, now you've got to schedule it. Okay. When you think about it, then it might happen, but when you schedule it, that's when it's going to happen. So now it's time to start scheduling everything that you need to do in order to achieve these outcomes. And there's been periods of, now certain things in my life have become habitual, but there were periods in my life where I was scheduling every hour. And there's some people that absolutely believe that. Elon Musk schedules like every 2 minutes or something. And he says it increases his productivity. Grant Cardone schedules every hour. Tony Robbins does that too. So, some people believe the more you schedule, the more you stay on task. I schedule about every hour. Depends on the day and it depends on what's going on. But I probably should schedule more in the morning and at night than I do. I used to map out my entire morning. But as we're going through life, let's talk about a big picture thing today. There are 4 areas that all of your activities fall into. No matter what you're doing, you're going to fall into one of these 4 areas. And Stephen Covey does a great job with this in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He calls them something different than this, but essentially the 4 areas are: area number 1 is something that doesn't bring you closer to your goals and is urgent. So it has to be dealt with immediately and it doesn't bring you closer to your goal. Area number 2 is it does bring you closer to your goal and it's also urgent. Area number 3 is it brings you closer to your goal and it's not urgent. And then area number 4 is doesn't bring you closer to your goal and isn't urgent. People that don't achieve their outcomes spend all of their time going back and forth between area 1 and area 4. What is area 1? Area 1 is putting out fires. Doesn't bring you closer to your goals, but is urgent. That's putting out fires. And sometimes you're going to be in area 1 just because life happens. You're going to get a flat tire. The kids are going to have to go to the ER and get stitches or be sick or whatever. Okay, this somebody's going to fall. Somebody's going to get sick. Okay, so you are going to get drug into this area at times. My dog wants to go out, so rather than her barking, I'm going to put her out. She just ate. So, but you want to avoid that area as much as possible. You do not want to spend your time in area number 1 because you're running around putting out fires and you're not getting closer to your goals. But what happens to people who don't plan? They end up in area number 1 because you're always putting out fires. And then what do they do at the end of the day? Do they go and plan and prepare? They retreat to area number 4. Doesn't get you closer to your goals and isn't urgent. What's that? Watching television, scrolling social media, going to a bar. Now you can schedule leisure time, and you should. Going to a movie, but that is really bringing you closer to your goals because you're scheduling downtime to process things, to have some entertainment, to spend time with a significant other. So, sometimes area number 4 is really area number 3. You got to just take a look at, we do need time to process. We do need downtime. But what you want to try to do is spend all of your time in area 2 or area 3. You want to spend as much time as possible in area 3. Area 3 is preparing, planning, exercise, reading. It's doing all of the things that'll prepare you for when the urgent thing happens that brings you closer to your goal, and it won't make it as urgent because you'll be prepared for it. The more time you spend in area number 3, the less stress you're going to have, and we know how big a deal that is on our bodies. The happier you're going to be, and the more you're going to achieve your goals. The quicker you're going to achieve them, the better you're going to achieve them, the greater the outcomes are going to be. Area number 3, which is not urgent, but does bring you closer to your goals. So what's this area? Exercising, budgeting, scheduling your day, your week, your month, your year, your life, reading, watching videos like this, anything informational, scheduling time with the people that you care about, having the conversations that you need to have with the people that you care about, even if it's just, how was your day? As opposed to coming home and drinking a beer and turning on a game and getting lost in the television. And it doesn't have to be a game, it could be whatever. If you're spending your time in area number 3, when area number 2 happens, brings you closer to your goal, but is urgent, you'll be prepared for it. Okay, now it's urgent, now it needs to happen, but you'll be ready to go. Your physical body will be ready to go. Your emotional body will be ready to go. You'll have taken care of your relationships. And when that urgent thing happens, but it brings you closer to your goal, you'll be prepared. So what happens? You're going to respond to that better. You're going to manage your state, what we spent all January talking about. You're going to respond to that situation a lot better, which means you're going to create a better outcome. Better state, better preparedness means better response, means better decisions. People who make better decisions live better lives. Whereas if you're spending all your time putting out fires in crisis and then retreating to things that don't get you prepared, when that urgent thing happens that brings you closer to your goal, you're not going to do it as well. You're not going to respond to it as well. When the phone call comes, when the interview comes, when the opportunity, the financial opportunity comes. So the more time that you can spend in area number 3, preparing yourself towards your goals, reading, working out, learning, people who are incredibly successful never stop learning, never. And in fact, when you get around billionaires, and I've had the luxury of being around several at this point, the more successful they got, the more learning they do. They read and they read and they read and they watch videos that help them and they take courses that help them. The new approach that you hear from these significantly successful people is the first couple $100,000 that you make that you want to invest should be invested in yourself. And I agree with that. You got to go do the work on yourself so that you can be in the right situation when the right opportunities go up. So you got to go to the seminars. You got to go to the ones that you need to go to. And of course, I'm a big Tony Robbins, fan. That's where I go, but there's others. That doesn't mean that that's where you have to go. You can go to Abraham Hicks. You can go to Grant Cardone. You can go, there's tons. There's all kinds of relationship seminars that are out there. I've got friends that run them and they do great stuff so that you can get your relationships in the areas that you need. I think Grant Cardone is great when it comes to finances. There's a lot of seminars that have more of a religious side to them. And that may be where you need to be. There's Joe Dispoza. Joe, he's another great seminar speaker that has a more of a, I guess I would say, almost mystical approach. That's kind of the wrong term. That's probably not a term that he would accept. But he has more of a sense of being in contact with the universe in terms of his approach to self-development. Joe Dispoza, I think, is his name. I know there's a ton of people that very much have gotten huge benefits out of that particular type of seminar. So whatever it is, go. I mean, you got to work on yourself first. And when you're at those seminars and doing those things, immersed in learning these ideas, whatever they are, you're working in compartment number 3. You're preparing so that when compartment number 2 happens and when compartment number 1 happens, when you have those urgent things, that you're okay, you're ready to go. You can handle that particular situation and that particular outcome, and it doesn't devastate you. So now you got your goals. Now you know how to manage your state. We continue to move forward. What do you need to do? Plan and work on yourself. Spend as much time in section 3 as you possibly can, working on your goals, but it's not urgent. Then when sections 1 and 2 pop up, you're going to be ready. Spend as little time as possible in section number 4, which is retreat. And remember, if you're intentionally going there, you're going to a movie because you want to have 2 hour. That's not necessarily section 4. That can be section 3. That can be, we do have to have downtime and prepare ourselves. You know, it's okay to rest for a period of time. Sometimes your body needs it. I've been given the clearance from my doctor after a year and a half to start lifting weights again, thank God. And I got to do it slowly, and I got to rest. I got to get these little teeny tiny weights and do just a little bit and then let my body recover. It's annoying, but I will get there. But that's the process. You know, I'm not 19 anymore, so I have to pay attention. So just because I'm resting, you know, like today, I needed to take a day. Just because I'm doing that doesn't mean that I'm in section 4. It means that I'm being smart in terms of how I'm getting myself from section 2 and section 3. So plan your life, schedule it. Remember, design your own life so you don't become part of somebody else's design for theirs. The way you design your own life is you schedule the things that you want to do. Put first things first. I love that. That's a Stephen Covey-ism, and it's a great way to approach things. Put first things first. Another way to look at it is do the things you got to do before you do the things that you want to do. Now, the great thing is to make the things you got to do the things you want to do, but that's for another conversation. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'm going to say hi to everyone. Good morning. Ooh, how can I read that? Dolly, good morning. My great uncle Bill, great to see you. Mr. Dakin, I saw you were out going for a walk this morning. Miss Pesca. Carla, good morning. Great to see you. Heather, nice to see you too. Hope the business is going well. Jamie, good morning. Heather, yep, good morning to you guys. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.